Hello, everyone, and welcome to Teacher Time, where we interview our teachers and ask their opinions on things going on in the world. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, William Beasley,
Yep.
and teacher, Miss Gray.
Hello.
Now, Miss Gray, we students have always heard stories of your life, whether that be from a week ago or when you were a kid. What we would like to know is what made Miss Gray into Miss Gray.
What made Miss Gray into Miss Gray? Gosh, that's a great question. I'll have to say, got to go to Larry and Brenda. Larry and Brenda, my mom and dad, and they definitely had a huge impact on my life. My dad comes across probably like I do, a little bit more serious than I am. He's got a huge sense of humor that some folks don't always understand, and I think I'm about the same way. I get his quirky sense of humor. But then I would just have to say enjoying life experiences. I'm not going to lie, getting morning detention for chewing gum in Mr. Sheik's class in high school. Going to the World Series with my summer softball team made me who I am. Failing a few classes in college made me who I am. So, yeah, maybe that's a little glimpse into me.
All right. On the subject of softball, actually, we know you like it a lot.
Love it.
Do you like any other sports?
I've always loved sports, and that's one thing I've loved. My husband and I enjoy them together. Of course, bowling. I'm a bowling coach. Come on. But I have really enjoyed getting into competitive bowling, coming here to Pelham. But football, oh my gosh, I am crazy for football. I'm a big Auburn fan, going to school there. So Saturdays get eat up with football and softball. So yeah, I'd say those are really my favorite. And also NASCAR, Dega's coming up. We're big Dega fans, so yeah, we like NASCAR. So a little bit of everything.
On the subject of softball, what really got you into softball and playing it?
Okay, so when I was in first and second grade, my mother forced me into gymnastics. That was horrible, absolutely horrible. So basically, by the end of second grade, my mom said, if you would finish the year, we'll try softball next year. And in third grade, at the age of 8, I started playing softball and loved it, absolutely loved it, and played really up until my son was born in 2001.
All right. So, considering what you do here at Pelham, you teach math.
Yeah.
What made you really want to teach math?
It's always been an interest. It's always been a love. Math, I was the math geek in school. Math has always been something that I excelled at. I have to admit, reading, not so much. I have found a love for reading now. But math has always been, I just like the problem solving. I like getting in, and I like that there's always a right or wrong answer. There's one answer. Just go find that answer. So I've always enjoyed it. And I think with my love, maybe that translates into teaching it because I like to break it down. And it's awesome. Who doesn't like letters and math?
Yeah, well,
I don't.
Yeah, no, it's not really that good.
You're right. I get it.
But how do you teach it so enthusiastically? Because I've watched you teach, and it was better than some college professors I've seen that when I went to the University of Alabama.
Oh, wow. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what anybody else says. Teaching is acting. I've always joked, teaching, fake it till you can make it, especially with you because you're in my 6th period. Mm-hmm. It's the 3rd time I've done it. Yeah. But I have to think that it's the first time y'all have heard it. That's the biggest thing is you've got to remember, yes, don't get me wrong. By the end of the day, my gosh, if I hear myself say trinomials one more time, I'm going to need to find me a bridge. But it's just one to remember your audience. To be honest with you, I really feel like it's like acting, and you got to remember your audience, and you got to remember you've never heard it before. That's kind of like I used to do the Washington, D.C. field trip at my old school, and I did that for 10 years. Well, I did that over and over and over, but I had to remember that's the first time that kid has seen the Washington Monument. That's the first time they've seen the Capitol. And so I had to just embrace their excitement or try to make you excited. I got to keep y'all awake. Math, come on, it's math.
Yeah. I know a lot of people sleep in your class.
Oh, I watch them nod. I watch them.
Yeah. On, your teaching career, who was a better audience? Like, who'd you like teaching better, 6th grade or 10th grade?
I like high school. I realized towards the end of my time with 6th graders that I like the young adults. I like the high schoolers. I see the end game. It's kind of one of those, I want to help them get to that end, get to that graduation. So I really enjoy getting them. You can be a little more real with them.
All right.
Did you always want to be a teacher? Or is this just something that happened?
I'm going to tell you, I've always.
Really?
Miss Brackett, my 1st grade teacher. I'm telling you right now, that woman was amazing. Miss Brackett, Miss Holloway was 2nd grade, Miss Godfrey was 3rd grade, and there's so many more. But what's crazy is sweet Miss Brackett, she's still kicking, she's still going, and we're actually friends on Facebook. And so it's kind of cool. I mean, it's one of those that I was able to go back as a college student and go and observe her class for a couple of weeks. But honestly, yes, ever since 1st grade, I wanted to be Miss Brackett.
All right. It's nice to know your motivation. And from what I hear, you have a lot of things on the bookshelf in your room. Is there a story behind all of that?
Let's see. What have I got back there? I have a ruler, and I used to do this activity on sound waves, and we had different types of rulers, and we would see how they would react when you kind of pop them, And I had Grady Steele. He is now a grown man, married, got 2 kids, and he broke my ruler. But I let him sign it. I've got my little, memory from that. And, sadly, of course, Josh had to hear about it. I lost one of my memories, but I had a pair of sunglasses. And that may have been when I was on a 4-wheeler, maybe exceeding the speed that I needed to. And I may have thrown a coworker and myself off into a mud puddle. But it's all. But I have a lot of great gifts. I mean, there's just sweet little gifts. We had a fly one time. We had a pet fly in my classroom, and a little girl gave me a fly swatter, and I still have it from 1996 when we were killing flies in my classroom. So yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Did you ever find the person that took the sunglasses, or is that still a mystery?
It's still a mystery.
That sucks.
It does, but the memory's in my heart. I mean, if you want somebody's sunglasses that bad, I guess knock yourself out. They were cheap, ugly sunglasses, but whatever.
Back on the subject of softball, I don't really know much about it.
Yeah.
But what team do you go for?
Oh, that's a good question. It's kind of funny. As an Auburn grad, of course, we cheer for Auburn softball. But my son was a manager for Mississippi State softball, so I still have a love for that. Even though he's graduated, we're kind of watching Mississippi State, and we kind of followed them. I'm telling you, we cheer for a lot of teams. I mean, we just love the sport. Of course, I gotta love my Panthers. Panthers got the win last night, by the way. We beat Mountain Brook. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it's just one where I love to watch SEC softball. But then you also have some of those big, like Oklahoma softball. Come on, Patty Gasso, she coaches over there. They are dynamic, and they're just amazing to watch. So there's a bunch.
All right. Well, we have time for 2 more questions,
Okay.
considering we only have 15 minutes left. If you could relive 1 year of your teaching career, what year would that be?
Oh. Okay, I'm going to tell you. That's an easy answer. That would be my 4th year teaching. And to be honest with you, for my adults out there, that was before No Child Left Behind. That was a time where I taught. I closed the door. I taught. We field tripped like crazy. Oh my gosh, we took the most amazing field trips. We challenged my 2 classes. Did y'all ever do Accelerated Reader, where you read books and take tests for points and stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we did that, and we didn't have a reading textbook. They just read novels, and they did Accelerated Reader. We tried something new, and we challenged them to get 5,000 points. Well, they ended up getting 15,000 points. And so we ended up, a family offered their backyard, and we camped out. It was hilarious. Boys on one side in tents, girls on the other side in tents, and the teachers and a couple of parents, we had tents, and we were in the middle, and we had a big old camp. I mean, it was amazing what we could do. And then, unfortunately, since then, quite frankly, testing has kind of become stressful, and kind of it's stressful for you, it's stressful for us, and just some of the things that are kind of pushed down. So I'd say 1999, 2000 was an amazing group of kids, an amazing year to teach.
All right. Now, for this last question, we got
Ooh.
inspiration from Mr. Schill. He's been bringing this up for like 2 weeks in class and refuses to let it go. Do you think cereal is a soup, or is it like its own thing?
Ooh, is cereal a soup?
It's not.
It's not a soup because a soup simmers. A soup, well, I guess you do have some cold soups, but I mean, a soup you cook and simmer, and I don't like mushy cereal. I want to crunch. A little bit. I need a splash of milk. I don't need a lot of milk. I need the crunch. I got to get, if I'm going to eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, it's got to crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
like milk isn't even broth, so I don't know where Mr. Schill is getting this
Yeah,
from.
I know.
He's like,
And Xavier said the same thing last year.
really?
Yes. Remember in 8th grade in Mr. Rogers' class where he would just argue about it with us?
Oh my God, he did.
Yeah. Okay, so soup or cereal, not a soup.
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you, Miss Gray, for joining
Thank
us
you.
here, even though we've had a bunch of technical difficulties.
You
these
are
past
so
3
welcome.
days. This has been another episode of Teacher Time. Thank you, Will, for being my co-host.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Gray, for joining us, and thank you, Kamarian, for doing all the stuff on the computer.
Good job, Kamari.
Great job, guys.
Thank you, Miss Gray.
You're so welcome.
Thank
It was great.